Yo, let's go, guys. Welcome. So, just to recap what we did last week. Actually, before that, let me know that you followed my Twitter. So let's go follow my Twitter right now. 老外必是, okay? That's the Chinese name for it. And my handle is Cryptos 老外, CRYPTOSLAOWAI. Okay, follow that Twitter account. We just hit 10.3k followers today, which is great news. 10k followers. Yay, yippee! Very, very good. Started this Twitter journey, crypto Twitter journey, when I only had 800 followers. And then now we're at 10k after 2 months. So we must be doing well. We must be doing something right. Okay. So let's get right into the markets. Just a quick intro about myself, obviously. I'm Jimmy. You can call me Jimbo, Jimmy, Cryptos 老外, anything you want. Just no nasty names, please. And I've been in crypto since 2016. And in 2016, actually in 2017, I bought a lot of my Ethereum that I still hold to this day at $12. So I got in quite early in the Ethereum time frame and rode the wave. Rode the wave of Ethereum, rode the wave of other layer 1 chains like ANS, which was rebranded as NEO, NEO. Back in the day, like the guys that were in Huobi back in the day would know that coin, but probably not so much now. It went from about $1 to $180 in a year, so it did really well. I would compare it to today's Solana. So it was the Solana of 2017. I rode that one up too. I rode Ontology, 5x on Ontology in the bear market, and then we traded the waves in the 2018-2019 bear market, and that was all good. So let's talk about some returns. So I got in 2016, didn't start out with much. In 2016, 2017, made a few hundred X in gains because we rode Ethereum all the way up, pretty much all the way up, although in the middle I did some bad trades and missed out on a lot of action. But that was quickly negated by other gains. And in total, we made, up until now, if I'm not mistaken, we're almost at 4,000 times. So what is that? 40,000%, probably. 4,000 times the initial investment. So that's purely using coins. That's not using futures. It's not future trading. We're using just coins, riding waves up, doing swing trades, and all of that good stuff. Yeah, so that's a quick intro. And let's get right into analyzing the markets, okay? So let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we started our Huobi Live episodes right about at the top, if you remember, when BTC was around 48,000. We predicted that the top would be at 48,000 and it would start dropping. And it did. Started dropping, bounced again. Miraculously, seems as though every time we have a Huobi Live episode, the price drops. So that happened quite a few times, including the time where we did an episode when the price was at around 40k. If you remember that, there was the Fed talk by Powell, and they raised rates by 50 basis points, and that pumped the markets a little bit. And that was just a miraculous pump. I don't know why that really happened. Maybe it was just the market doing what it's not supposed to do. Well, it pumped, got everyone excited at the top at 40K. You know, when people look at round numbers with the same kind of mindset. When they hit 40K, they think it will go beyond 40K. So that's why we jumped back to 40K and then stopped there. So it got people excited because 40K is really close to 50K. And if you pass 50K, you're halfway there to 100K. So that's the kind of herd mentality that markets have, that market participants have. Okay, so well, let me just check how we're doing in the live stream. Doing nicely, 2.5K 2.5K watching. Okay, so it went to 40K. Went to 40K on the Powell speech about raising rates, and then it dumped miraculously downwards. Instant new low within the 4-hour time frame, and we've been sliding down continuously until this morning. So if we look at the 1-hour time frame, you'll notice that actually the only big sudden dump was from 40K to 36K. So that's quite interesting. So we dumped really hard and really fast there, but after that we kind of tumbled down in a spiral fashion. So what has happened is this kind of market trading at very choppily downwards is actually quite FOMO inducing. What does that mean? So every time it bounces a bit, every time it bounces $100, actually not even more than $100, $500. Every time it bounces $500, it gets people excited. Okay, so people get excited here. We dumped. We're gonna go back to the moon. No, we're not. We dumped again, and then we got even above the 1 hour EMA 20. All right, we got above it momentarily, and then we continued our slide downwards. So every time it dumps about $1,000, we've seen a rebound to the mean of about $500. And every time it does this, people get excited and they try to buy the dip. They try to time the market. They try to predict when the market bottom might be in. I mean, there are lots of narratives at play here. You could say some people believe that the markets would hit a bottom at 35K, 36K. Some people thought it was 33K. Some people thought it was 30K. Even the 30K people got wiped out, didn't they? So it was 30K and it went to like 29.7K. So if you had your stop loss, foolishly of course, placed at 30K, you would have been stopped out. So it's a really, really tricky market to play if you're doing counter trend stuff, because you can't really predict when it will rebound. Okay, and we can see the momentum has been gathering. So the initial dump from 48K has been quite, at a relatively small angle. And then we've had this quite a relatively long phase of consolidation, forming this wedge shape, and we've even poked through the wedge, which got a lot of people excited, saying, oh, this is the third bottom out of this wait, let's get the charts loading, out of this structure here. So people believe that this was the first bottom, and then the next bottom was on February 24th when Russia invaded Ukraine. And then the third bottom was was that the end of that consolidation when the Fed talk began, and they raised rates by 50 basis points. And that bounce really got a lot of people excited, because if you connect the dots, that's an exact bounce from this line. Let's change a color so you guys can see. So you can see this, right? You can see the market psychology at play. This green line here, clearly visible trend line. We're looking at the markets using the linear graph, linear chart. And if you connect these two dots, you'll see the line extends out here, and we've bounced exactly at the line with this descending wedge. And we bounced, we got people excited, people FOMO'd in, and then boom, we went lower. So that is exactly how we predicted it would happen. We predicted that this would be the top, and a few reasons, because it was the confluence point of 3 trend lines, and also a major Fibonacci retracement point. I forgot which one it was, but 40K was a big important spot. Okay. Nice sip of tea. How are you doing? How are you doing today? Yeah, with high probability, it's going down. It's probably going down. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. So right now, we're seeing a bounce. Is this the bottom? That may be your first question. In my opinion, it is not. The bottom is going to be a long, hard grind. We're not going to see the bottom immediately. Any bottom that's uncatchable isn't the bottom, okay? Remember that, guys. If you see there's a huge drop in the price and it spikes low and then it bounces back immediately, that is not the bottom. That's like 90% of the time it's going to retest, at least go like slide down from the bounce. It's going to slide down and retest that spike low. Okay, so that's usually what happens in my humble opinion and experience. That's what happens. So this bounce here, it's not by far a really really big bounce. So I don't even think this is the local bottom. So I think this is just a short-term bounce, because we've seen the LUNA drama, right? The drama with the LFG. So the LUNA Foundation, they right back here actually, all the way up from 38K to 48K, they bought a ton of Bitcoin to back their stablecoin UST, because they think that if you like hold a bunch of Bitcoin to back your stablecoin, it's like hard, it's backed with a store of value, right? It's better than just backing it with LUNA. So they started buying a ton of Bitcoin. They plan to buy how many $1 billion worth of Bitcoin? Anyway, just a huge amount of Bitcoin. And they were buying all the way up here. And the founder, Do Kwon, Stable Kwon, he was taunting the bears. So he was saying, I am once again asking you to short BTC. I mean, that's a clear taunt. He was taunting the bears to, like, he was daring the bears, you go short BTC, I will pump the price up to liquidate you. But in fact, what has happened is the price has been tumbling down since he said that. He said that at the absolute top, literally, at the absolute top at 48K. it wasn't a actual trade call, okay? He just said, do this because I'm gonna liquidate you with my buying power, with my giant cojones, you know? But he really failed at that. So it's quite interesting to see that today, actually, the Luna Foundation transferred all their BTC to exchanges to liquidate. So what has happened? He thought he would liquidate all the bears, but ended up getting liquidated, basically. So what is in store for Luna in the future? I don't really know. They need to restructure probably if they want to survive. This morning, UST, the Luna stablecoin, was trading at $0.6, and that was actually a good buy, a good short-term buy, but definitely quite scary because, you know, it's a stable coin and it's only worth 0.6 this morning. But people who bought immediately got a 50% return because it went to 0.9. Yeah. In my opinion, this bounce is Luna, the Luna Foundation, liquidating their assets, causing a big. So this last bit was caused by the Luna Foundation dumping their coins, and this short-term bounce is clearly a dead cat bounce. Post Luna liquidation. So like whenever a big player in a market sells a lot of coins very quickly, it usually causes a bounce. So that's called a dead cat bounce. If you throw a dead cat really hard on the ground, even though it's a dead cat, it can still bounce. Like if you threw it really hard, it would bounce. Definitely not advocating animal cruelty here, but you know, this is, I don't know when this trading term was invented, but it sounds kind of cruel, but that's what it is. It's basically if you dump this coin really hard, it will bounce because it's how markets work. If it's oversold, it might bounce. So this is just a normal bounce in my eyes, and we're still a bit high. Actually, we need to be down at 26K soon-ish, I think. So within the next week or two, I don't know the exact time frame, okay? Because it could go sideways here for a week and then dump. This I don't know, but in my opinion, this is still a short-term bounce, and we'll still see a big dump, okay? Yeah. Like, let's check the chat. So how's everyone doing? Have you been longing? Have you been shorting? Have you made money? That is a great summary. Thank you. I think we need an admin to delete some of these comments. Someone's spamming tell about Shiba. I'm not gonna look at Shiba because you're saying that. Okay, no spamming, guys. Okay, so this short-term bounce is relatively big compared to the other ones, and I think this really gets people excited because, you know, it's dumped so much and it bounces quite a bit, you know. At least it's green on the 4-hour and it's green on the daily. Is it green on the daily? Let's have a look. Oh, it's not green on the daily on Huobi, but it should be green on the daily on another exchange because Huobi closes at 12 Asia time, I think. 12 at night, Asia time. Singapore time, right? So it's a different, the chart is a little bit different, but basically this bounce is relatively prominent on the chart, and I think it will get a lot of people excited, and a lot of people will buy in, especially it's quite a prolonged bounce. Yeah, it's quite a prolonged bounce, and we might see the price tumble down again. And that's BTC, and we should go to Ethereum now. Ethereum has been a lot stronger than BTC because, first of all, it hasn't broken the yearly lows, hasn't broken the January 25th, 24th lows. But you have to think like a whale. You shouldn't think like a regular market participant, because okay, so like you can put your mindset to this. If you were a trader and you see Ethereum not breaking lows, but Bitcoin has broken the yearly lows, what would you think? If I was a retail trader, I am a retail trader, by the way, but if I was a retail trader that hadn't programmed my mind to think this way, if I was thinking like what a normal person would think, I would think, wow, Ethereum is so strong here. If I want to long this market, right, it's not even broken the previous lows. This could be a double bottom. So I would choose to long Ethereum, right? But they don't realize why Ethereum is pumping. I have a theory, okay? And this theory begins with Ethereum BTC. So ETH/BTC, that's a trading pair, and it's Ethereum priced in Bitcoin. So you, in this trading pair, you buy Ethereum with Bitcoin and you sell Ethereum into Bitcoin. So this is Ethereum priced in Bitcoin, and it is 0.0758 BTC. One Ethereum is 0.0758 BTC. Okay, so this is very important because we can see following today's bounce, Ethereum BTC has bounced almost to short-term highs, right? In my opinion, this shows that money is flowing from BTC, from Bitcoin, to Ethereum. And what does that mean? That might mean whales are selling their Bitcoin for Ethereum, and then they may choose to dump Ethereum later. So the reason why Ethereum is doing quite well is because it's artificially propped up by whales trying to dump their BTC bags. Because if you have a ton of BTC, not a literal ton, but like a huge amount of BTC, if you just try to sell it to USDT, the markets can't really handle the volume, the sheer volume of your BTC. So you choose to sell it in all different trading pairs. You sell it to USDT, you sell it to USDC, you even sell it to Ethereum BTC, and so basically those. Ethereum BTC is a very good pair because Ethereum has a ton of liquidity. It's as liquid as BTC, right? So it's the second biggest asset, but there's more trading volume on Ethereum, especially on DEXs and things. So Ethereum is incredibly liquid. So if you have a ton of BTC, you would sell your BTC partly to USDT, partly to Ethereum. And by selling it to Ethereum, you're artificially propping up the Ethereum market. So that is what we're seeing here. ETH BTC is pumping a bit, causing Ethereum to look really strong, but it's artificially strong. So in my opinion, it will dump harder later on. So in my opinion, the dump today was mainly the LUNA Foundation liquidating a bunch of their assets. And I think there has been some foul play here. There might have been other whales eyeing the Luna Foundation. They wanted to dump the price of BTC down, dump the price of Luna down, to cause a depegging of the UST stablecoin, which in turn made Luna and BTC go down even more, because it's like a death spiral, like, yeah, you know, triangulation selling kind of setup. So we've seen that dump, and that's mainly a dump in the BTC markets. And the next dump, in my opinion, would be mainly in altcoins and Ethereum. So Ethereum has been artificially propped up by the pump in Ethereum BTC. Whales buying Ethereum, and they'll dump Ethereum next. And the interesting thing is, so by artificially propping up Ethereum, the whales have created a false sense of hope in the Ethereum market. So Ethereum hasn't broken lows, which make people in long positions feeling safe, right? The markets haven't dumped to new lows, and we might be rebounding here because it's the previous lows. But lows are for taking out, so we'll be taking out the lows soon, in my opinion. Obviously, don't take any of this as financial advice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay, what's next? Let's have a look. Solana. We've seen a big dump in Solana following, you know, when Solana had 7 hours of outages. It's been going down since. So it's gone down in this banana shape. And this is called a parabolic decline, because it looks like tossing a rock and it falling downwards. Okay, so this is a parabolic decline, and we've just experienced a bounce here from $60 to $70, and then from $70 it might dump to $56. So I'm still looking for another low in Solana to buy in at around 56. And obviously, let's take a look at Luna. What is Luna doing? So we predicted a big dump in Luna from about $100, but I didn't realize it would dump so fast so far, you know, because it went from pretty much $60 yesterday to $25 today, more than 50% decline. And now we're seeing some support because we're at a Fibonacci level, the 25.75 Fibonacci level. And right about here, it is possible to see a bounce to $45 or $48. And I think we'll see Luna bounce around $20 to $40 for quite an extended period of time. And then we'll see it bounce from about $20 to $60, possibly even $70. So that would be the high point of the bounce. And that bounce might take place in May into June, late May, and then into June. So that's the first bounce. That brings us back to BTC. BTC, I'm predicting a bottom sometime this month, and then a relatively big bounce from about 26k to 34k. Okay, and then we might see the price decline from 34k back down to the 20k zone. So in my opinion, we're not going to see a full-on bottom in the markets really soon. On the contrary, I think we'll see multiple bottoms. So we'll see a bottom this month, we'll see a bottom in possibly late June, and then we'll see another bottom maybe in late July, early August. Okay, so I would hold back on creating large positions in any altcoins, because usually money flows into the major coins first. They flow into BTC, first, and then the money, the cash flow, flows from BTC to Ethereum, and then from Ethereum it flows into altcoins. So altcoins get the last bit of the juice. So I would hold back on buying altcoins. If you do buy some altcoins that dump really, really hard and you just want to buy the dip and just capture that bounce, that's also fine. But make sure you get out relatively soon, because usually those bounces are faded. Yeah. So let's have a look if there are any. So yeah, so this is BTC, multiple bottoms. I don't think we'll see one bottom, possibly 2 or even 3 bottoms. Okay, so on a larger time frame, on the daily time frame, we might see this triple bottom form, and then see it bounce quite hard all the way to 44K. So that's some good news. That's some good news. So maybe from July, August onwards, we'll see this market rebound, kind of warm up. The great thaw. Okay, so from 23K all the way to 40K, then from 40K maybe a quick rebound to 34 or 31K, and then we might see 50K at most. I don't think we'll see anything above 53K. So it is possible that we'll go to 53K sometime this year. So I think it will be a big year. We'll see some big moves. People will be quite hopeless at the bottom here, because the first bottom, you see, if we dump to 26K, and it bounces, people will get too excited. If people didn't buy any dips at the 20K mark, like the 27K mark, they might FOMO in at 34K, and then we see another dump and they get liquidated or they get shaken out, and then we see another bounce, people get excited again, and then they get liquidated again. So like, the same thing has happened multiple times, and people are just fed up. They think the markets will dump even further, and then we rebound for real from 23K. So that's my forecast for the coming months. So what's next? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at some other coins. Yeah, Luna. Luna might go from around $20 to $60 within the next 2 months. And then we'll see possibly a ranging market from 20 to 60 for an extended period of time. And then we'll see it dump even further. In the long run, I think it might dump below $10, because I'm really not bullish on Luna. I don't think a stable coin should be so high risk. It's clear that the Luna Foundation is basically a high risk leveraged stablecoin position. I mean, in UST you can get 20% returns. I mean, that's unheard of in stablecoin staking, right? 20% return sounds like a Ponzi, and it is high risk, because we've seen today UST depegging to 0.6, and that's clearly not a good sign. Okay. So let's have a look at some other coins. Avalanche, AVAX has dumped exactly as we predicted. From $100, we predicted a dump to around $30, $20, this range or so. And it has rebounded at $40. Do I think it's the bottom? No, I don't think it's the bottom. I think it's a short-term bounce like these previous bounces. And I think we'll still see another dump to around $21. Why? Because we see a red trend line over here. If you extend the red trend line, connecting the dots from January the 1st, 2021 to July the 20th, 2021, if you connect those two dots, you'll see that line extends all the way to $21 about here. Okay, so I think $21 might be the lows in Avalanche. Why might it dump so far even from here? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of bottom liquidity. I hear that the LUNA Foundation also holds a large position in Avalanche and they haven't liquidated that yet. So if, for example, LUNA dumps even more, UST dumps even more, we might see the LUNA Foundation selling their AVAX, okay, their AVAX tokens. So that would cause a cascading price action all the way down to $20, which is also possible. So I wouldn't advise on taking any big leverage positions as of now. Should you short the market now? I mean, you could, but please realize that we've dumped like 33%, right? We've dumped 33%. You're not early in shorting the markets. You're not early at all. So any bounce will fade your faith in the short. So in my opinion, if you want to be highly convicted in your trade, you should try to open a very low leverage position, maybe under 1x, just to test the waters, okay? And set maybe a stop loss at 2600. That isn't too bad. And then maybe take profit at 1800. So that's what I would do if I didn't short the markets. But we were short from 33k and I haven't closed my short yet. Doing very nicely. Let's have a look at the chat. This time we seem to be doing quite well. Yeah, this time we've not lost any people, right? Has it cut out yet? Seems to be doing okay. I'll just ask the team. Okay, so we're seeing a bit of a bounce in Ethereum here. Where could it go? Okay, let's have a look at Ethereum on the lower time frames. There seems to be a... Let's have a look. The charts are loading a bit slow today. Maybe on the 1 hour chart. Let's check the 1 hour chart. Bit of a lag in the charts, sorry guys. we are back. Okay, so looking at Bitcoin, there seems to be a downward channel here, and we're tapping the top of the channel. And Ethereum seems to be a bit stronger because of what I just explained earlier. People buying Ethereum to dump Ethereum later on. Okay, so we may see another high here. We may see Ethereum go to maybe 2450, 2460. And from there on, we may see another dip. So right here, I think we've actually pumped through the trend line. So what does this mean? In my eyes, this could mean a bit of a bull trap, to be honest. So yeah, to get people excited, get people buying in more, maybe they're already leveraged long on the way down, because by looking at funding rates, we're still positive. That means lots of positions are still long. And this bounce would make a lot of people excited, and we may see a dump maybe tonight or tomorrow morning. So it's possible that we see maybe it go up here and then kind of spiral downwards a bit, do something like this. Okay. Okay, so that's the red trend line. What else? What other trend lines can we find, or what other Fibonacci lines can we find? So from the top to the bottom, let's have a look at the Fibonacci retracement. There seems to be a confluence, not a confluence because I've just redrawn that Fibonacci. Sorry, guys. There seems to be a kind of a zone here, 2463 to 2493. So this zone seems to have a lot of resistance, and that is just above the previous high, the short-term previous high. So we could be seeing it go up there, getting people excited, and then we dump down again. And on the really short time frame, I think this is what we would call a rising wedge. So we might be seeing a short-term correction here. This is a rising wedge. And we might see it go to maybe 2463 and then drop down. Okay, so the short term is a rising wedge. Very cool, very cool. And I think we've seen quite a lot of rising wedges on the way down. There was one here, right? There was another one somewhere. Where was the other one? Anyway, there was another one. So we see these rising wedges on the downtrend, poking through the trend line, getting people excited, and then dumping downwards. So that's what's possible in my eyes. Let me just take a quick screenshot of that, and we'll send it to our group in Telegram. And yeah, so please join our Telegram. Our Telegram channel is my Twitter handle, so t.me plus my Twitter handle, t.me / my Twitter handle, Cryptos Laowai. Yeah, so we'll send this. How do I send that again? Command Control S, I think. Yeah, we got that. Just sending that in the chat. all good. Just having a look at the chat. What about GST? I'm bullish on Steppen, guys. I mean, like, Steppen has been getting a lot of flack these days, but I love the concept, and I mean, they have a ton of content to produce. They've only done like 30% of the game development. So I'm bullish on Steppen. GMT seems to be doing well. I think we might see a rebound to maybe, yeah, we thought that maybe 1.7 would be the bottom, short-term bottom, and we might see a pump to maybe 2.6, 2.7, and then range in that range for a while before another dump. GST might be a good buy at between $3 and $4. I think is quite low. When the price is between $3 and $4, I choose to keep my coins in the game and just use them in the game. And when prices are $5 plus, I choose to cash out. So like get my capital out of the game because it's relatively high. Okay. So some other hot coins like Ape coin. So Ape has dumped in our favor. It's dumped to around $8 just as expected and is now rebounding. So I expect Ape to be between $8 and $12 for the time being. And then maybe later in this month we'll see it at $5 or $4 or $5. Yeah. Ape coin. There's just too much hype surrounding this coin, and there's a ton of controversy for sure. And we've seen NFTs dump really hard these days. Why? Because NFTs are liquidity. Like the Bored Apes, right? The Bored Apes were at 150 Ethereum floor price a few days ago, and now they're merely at 90, right? They've dumped by 30%. Yeah. Dumped by 30%, and Ethereum has dumped by 30%. So a combined loss of more than 50%. Why? Because lots of Bored Ape traders, Bored Ape holders are crypto traders too. And if their positions are getting liquidated, they're going to sell their monkeys to save their monkey food. You know, they're going to save their cryptos. So they're going to sell their monkeys to save their positions. Let's have a look at another animal. So Dogecoin. How's Dogecoin doing? Very badly actually, but we've actually dumped really close to where I've predicted the markets might go. A big pump actually, a big bounce. But this bounce seems it may be short-lived. In my opinion, it might go there and then it might go down again. Maybe range around here, and then we'll see another big dump to around 0.088. Okay, so that would be a good place to buy Dogecoin, and I think Dogecoin might go from like 0.088. Let's have a look at the logarithmic chart. I think the logarithmic chart looks a lot better on Dogecoin. So 4-hour logarithmic. So from the top to the bottom, let's have a look. From the top to the bottom of this range, obviously the price hasn't even tapped this price yet, but I think we will do that due to this extended trend line. And if we go to 0.088, bouncing from there would result in a few resistance lines. So 0.1, 0.12, and 0.13. That's quite easy to remember, right? 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. Okay, so 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. So these are the three take profits if you buy at 0.08. So you could write that down in your notebooks. So Dogecoin is cool. Let's have a look at something else. What else should we look at? Zen is a good coin. What's Zen doing? Zen has pumped really hard and has dropped by 50%, right? It went from like 45 all the way to 23. So that's a big dump. Let's have a look on the daily time frame. Where should we buy Zen? I'd like to buy Zen at 19, to be honest. 19 would be the 0.618. How about the linear chart? Well, the linear chart doesn't make much sense to me, so I'll stick with the logarithmic. 19 would be the first buy. I think in the short term, meaning within this month, 19 might be the low, and we might go back to some of these highs. So we might go down to 19, bounce maybe to 29, or even 45, but I highly doubt it. Because this seems to be a downward, a wedge, a descending wedge. So if we dump to 19, go to around 29, we may see another dump to really scare people, and then form another downward wedge. And this downward wedge would send us tumbling down to $10 to make a fake out. And maybe from $10, we'll see a big bounce all the way to maybe $44. So that's the kind of sort of bull run I'm thinking of this year. So we'll see Bitcoin's price go down quite low. A lot of coins will be at dirt cheap prices. And then we'll see prices go up by twofold, threefold, even fivefold. So I'm quite bullish on this autumn. We talked about Luna. You can have a look at the replay, because we just talked about Luna a few tens of minutes ago. ICP dumped as expected from $20. We expected a dump all the way down to $10, even $9. It just tapped our support at 9.6 and is pumping now. So is this the bottom? I mean, seriously, who knows? But if Bitcoin doesn't bottom, I really don't know. I think we'll see it even lower. We can extend some of these lines to see where it will go if Bitcoin continues its tumble downwards. Let's have a look. So I'd connect this dot, and it seems to be there seems to be a support level at $7. So from $11 we may go to $7. 7-Eleven, yay! Let's go. You know. So we may see it dump down to $7. That's also possible if 9.6 doesn't hold, because I find it hard to believe that this is the bottom for BTC, because it's super like anticlimactic, right? It's just a little, it didn't even dump that much. I mean, in terms of sheer trading volume, it's not as much as any of the other dumps we've seen. So it's hard to believe that that is the bottom. I still believe that in the short term, especially on Ethereum, we're seeing this rising wedge, and we may go to maybe 2468 and then dump down again, something like this. So yeah, we basically talked about all the things we're supposed to talk about, right? Oh, and some long-term price predictions for 2022, 2023. So let's do that for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin, I'm thinking this year our low will be 23K, and our high this year might be around 40 to 50K. That's my prediction for BTC. For Ethereum, let's talk about 2023. Then in 2023, I'm thinking BTC might dump to the break-even price of the Antminer S19 XP. So that's a miner, that's one of the best miners out there, and its break-even price is at $9,500. And usually in a bear market, prices dump to where the break-even even below the break-even price is. So the break-even price for that miner, the S19 XP, is $9,500. So we might go to $9,500 or even $9,000. That's my my target for next year. And Ethereum, I'm thinking we may see $500 Ethereum next year. This year, I think the lowest we'll see it at is around 1,400. We may see it at 1,700 in May, and then in when is it? In June or July, we may see it pump a bit and then dump back down to 1,400. So that's my range for this year. Next year is looking more like $500 or so, because you know a lot of these things, markets are very emotional. Okay, and there's one thing that we must remember, and I watched a very good podcast today, and it talked briefly on this topic, and it's about how narrative follows price. So, you know, like we talk about how well Web3 is doing, how well NFTs are doing, because this is the future, this is the revolution. Why do we think this? Because the prices are going up. If the prices are going down, you won't think it's a revolution. You'll think it's a scam. So this is how narrative follows price, not the other way around. So it is not because it is a revolution that the price is pumping. The price is pumping, so you think it's a revolution, because we're programmed to think that way. We're really susceptible to the change in price and how it affects us as human beings. We're programmed that way. So you have to get yourself out of this mindset of thinking everything has a reason. You know, like if it pumps, you must find a reason for the pump. Oh, because of the awesome development. You know, that's not the reason. The reason why it pumped is because a bunch of people bought the coin. Then it pumped. The reason why it's dumping is because people are too bullish on the coin. They're longing the coin, and whales are dumping. It's not because it's a bad coin, right? Ethereum has dumped from 4,800 all the way down to like 2.1K today. Doesn't mean it's a scam. It just means people have sold, right? People have taken profit. So it's always narrative following price, not the other way around. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to say today. We've hit the 1 hour mark. It has been very nice to talk to you today, and we'll see you again on Thursday. So we're gonna have 2 live streams per week now. Thank you. Bye. We'll see you in a couple days. Wish you guys good luck, and make sure you know that it is not financial advice what I'm saying here. And give my Twitter a follow, okay? Give my Twitter a follow. Sorry for my serious profile photo, but you know, serious times. Okay, bye bye. See you on Thursday. See you. Bye.